What's going on, Aurora Alliance, and welcome back to a brand new Star Wars Battlefront 2 video. In today's video we're going to be talking about the possibility of minigames and pod racing in Star Wars Battlefront 2, but before we get fully into this video, let me know down in the comments section below what minigames you would like to see in Battlefront 2. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to join the Aurora Alliance, be kept up to date with all Battlefront 2 content, and see exclusive gameplay videos in the future. But for now, let's talk about minigames and what they could bring to Star Wars Battlefront 2. So on my live stream the other night I was talking a little bit about minigames and what minigames we could see in Battlefront 2 through DLC seasons. DLC seasons are going to be completely 100% free and are going to contain a variety of content such as heroes, new maps, game modes, weapons, star cards, and possibly new offline content for arcade mode. These minigames could be available for both offline, arcade, and online multiplayer, depending on what type of minigame they do bring into the game at a given time. So I was thinking, and these Star Wars themed minigames could be once a month events, which could last for around a week or so, where players can play Star Wars themed minigames to earn more credits and unique rewards such as customization items based around the minigame that is out for that week. These would be completely unique one-off events, which would also keep players returning to the game to gain rewards, which will increase the game's longevity and therefore keep free DLC seasons coming for a lot longer than they would have if players put the game down after 1 month. A great example of minigames which kept a game going for a long period of time would be GTA 5, which has kept rolling out free DLCs over the past 5 years, which have kept players returning to the game to unlock new items, compete in new game modes, and earn new rewards, which weren't in the base game. And this is something that EA and DICE could do for Star Wars Battlefront 2, if they introduce minigames with new challenges every time they bring out a new DLC season. It will keep players returning to the game, and again, these DLC seasons would be completely free, meaning that everyone who owns the game would be able to play them if they return to the game. Like I said earlier in this video, these minigames which are Star Wars themed could be online or offline depending on what the minigame is. For example, the pod racing minigame could be against your friends online, or against AI bots offline in arcade mode. This would give people a nice balance, because if people wanted to compete with their friends on pod racing then they could online, but if they just wanted to play it on their own and try and earn these unique rewards, they could play offline against AI bots and still earn the same rewards. A pod racing minigame could be an event which allows players to compete for unique vehicle customization items like decals and credits to spend on special pod racing crates rather than the standard crates which would be in the game at launch. The pod racing minigame could be a 10-person mode online or offline. However, offline would only contain one actual player with 9 other AI bots to fill up the other spaces in this race. In the online and offline versions of pod racing, we could see AI Tusken Raiders who would plant traps along the course and shoot at players while they are racing along to hinder their progress. The more damage a pod racer takes, the slower it becomes over time, and then eventually it would blow up and a player would have to restart from where they got blown up, or at a specific checkpoint. Considering pod racing is a huge fan favourite of Star Wars fans and has featured in many games beforehand which people loved, including the LEGO Star Wars episodes 1 to 3, where we got to play as a young Anakin Skywalker on Tatooine in a pod race from The Phantom Menace, to an actual pod racing game based around Star Wars Episode 1's pod racing event, which allowed the players to play as any pod racer from Episode 1 on various racetracks all over the galaxy. I really think that Star Wars themed minigames are needed in Star Wars Battlefront 2 DLC seasons. The first reason is to expand the arcade mode. A lot of people are disappointed with how much arcade actually contains at the moment, so if they expand on it with every free DLC season, then players who do only play arcade mode will be extremely happy. The second reason, like I said earlier in the video, it will increase the game's longevity, as players will keep coming back to the game every few months or every few weeks, depending on how often the DLC seasons are released, to play the new content and minigames which are available online or offline. And the final reason is it will increase the variation in what you can actually play in Star Wars Battlefront 2, because I know a lot of people do want to fight each other as clones and droids and stormtroopers and rebels, and First Order stormtroopers and the Resistance, and their favourite heroes, but a lot of people also want to see minigames based around unique Star Wars events and themes like pod racing, and possibly even things like Rancor hunting or Wampa hunting, or possibly even some form of Jedi survival in an Order 66 themed challenge. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys want minigames in Star Wars Battlefront 2, or do you want EA and DICE to purely stick to first person type shooter DLCs rather than expanding into other unique Star Wars events and themes like pod racing? Make sure to let me know down in the comment section below if you want to see minigames, and if you have any minigame ideas, make sure to let me know as well. If you've enjoyed this video, then make sure to smash a like on it, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to join the Aurora Alliance, be kept up to date with all Battlefront 2 content, and see exclusive gameplay videos in the future. Other than that, may the Force be with you.